Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unboxed. Today's question, how can I know when I'm the one bringing anxiety into the relationship? Stick around as we unbox the answer to this question.
I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Dr. Robert Davis. I want to welcome you to Unbox. So glad that you've chosen to join us. Do me a favor before we get started. Please like, subscribe, and share. That's right, like, subscribe, and share. And if you're following us on Facebook, also hit the alert button so you can know on YouTube. Hit the alert button so you can know when we're coming on live. Also want to encourage you to go down to the descriptions and check out ways that you can support, ways that you can be a part of the exciting things that Unboxed is doing in the community. And while I'm thinking about it, do me a favor, visit denvertaskforce.org. That's denvertaskforce.org. And so you can see about what we're doing relative to police and public safety transformation. All right. So we met here on Tuesday, and Katie sent in a question about her aunt leaving her to be the power of attorney, and her two cousins were upset about that. And one of the things that I shared with Katie was that you cannot take on responsibility for how other people react and how other people's emotions feel. So don't take on your cousin's emotions and responsibility. But and not just on Tuesday, but generally speaking, here at Unboxed, we talk an awful lot about the importance of not assuming responsibility for other people's emotions. You're responsible for how you respond and how you react, but you can't regulate others. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept that I cannot change other people, courage to change the only person I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That is Serenity Prayer 2.0. So we've talked a lot about not taking on other people's anxiety or trying to regulate how they feel, but I think it's very important for us to spend some time today asking the question, how do I know if I'm the one causing the anxiety, the stress, or the conflict? I don't want to take on other people's things, but how do I know when I'm the one that's actually bringing it on? So let me answer this question very simply, and I'm gonna go straight through and give you some very quick pointers that I think is going to be helpful. If you are feeling anxious, annoyed, angry, or stressed, then you are bringing that into the relationship, even if you tell yourself, well, you try not to. That's just a natural human thing. If how you're feeling is going to automatically show up, it's like human beings are built with this sixth sense, so we can kind of tell under the radar how people are feeling under the facade, and sometimes the facade works, but most times it doesn't. So if you're feeling annoyed, angry, if you're feeling anxious or stressed, it's going to come into the relationship. One of the things that is true is that anxiety begets anxiety. Let me say that again. Anxiety begets anxiety. And so then the goal is not to lose all emotions. The goal is to disrupt, and I want you to catch this now. The goal is, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in just a second. The goal is not to lose all emotions. The goal is to disrupt the natural, instinctual, non-thoughtful reactivity to your emotions. Because what ends up happening, one of the ways that people are able to identify when we are annoyed, upset, stressed, anxious, or whatever, is because there are certain instinctual things that we do, things that have been pre-programmed into us that automatically happen. It's like if you double click or if you right click on your keyboard or whatever, it's been pre-programmed to do certain things. And it doesn't make a difference if the computer tells itself, I don't want to do that anymore. It's pre-programmed. It's going to do it. And so there's certain things that we do pre-programmed. We're pre-programmed to do from our family generations, but also things that we're pre-programmed to do just because of, stuff that we learned over the years. And so when we do those things without even thinking, I'm gonna give an example. When we do those things without even thinking, we bring that annoyance, that anxiousness, that stress, that frustration into the relationship. It just happens naturally. So again, the goal is not to lose all emotions, but rather the goal is to disrupt the natural, instinctual, non-thoughtful reactivity to your emotions. Literally what you want to do is you want to reprogram the computer to operate a new way. You want to go into the settings and reprogram the computer. That's exactly what you want to do with your emotions, so that you become more thoughtful, less instinctual, so as you become more intentional and not more just following what you are inclined to do or have always done. That's very important. So I'm going to give you 3 very quick steps on how you do this and how you can have less of an emotional impact on your team, on your family. So I'm going to give it to you. The first one is to identify. Throughout the day, I want you to do something. Throughout the day, I want you to practice asking yourself, how do I feel? Because I don't want you to do it just when you're in an upset and tenseful situation, but I want you to do it just throughout the day. How do I feel? What emotions am I experiencing right now? What emotions am I experiencing right now? So even right now, as I'm teaching this to you, I'm sensing a little nervousness. So I'll be honest with you about that. I'm sensing a little nervousness sharing this with you. So that's the first thing, identify. And again, not just during tense times and difficult times, but during any times, because you're trying to build up a practice. You'll see some guys just walking to the store, dribbling the basketball. You don't have to dribble a basketball when you go to the grocery store. But if you do dribble a basketball while you go into the grocery store, it helps you an awful lot when you're in the basketball game. So just throughout the day, identify, hey, how am I feeling right now? You can call it a self-check-in. I'm just going to do a self-check-in real quick. How you feeling, man? What emotions are you experiencing right now, Robert? All right, just wanted to check in with you. So after you identify, the second thing I want you to do is to assess. And so start by identifying or assessing what you naturally do when you feel anxious, annoyed, angry, or stressed. So you can get another thing you can do is you can get an outside perspective. You can ask a trusted friend to tell you how you act when you experience different emotions. And then you can kind of run through, what do I typically do? When I'm upset, what do I typically do? When I'm annoyed, what do I typically do? You could ask someone from the outside, hey, tell me, when I'm stressed out or when I'm anxious, tell me, what do I normally do? What do you observe me doing? And then observe yourself. This is what I typically do. And when you feel those emotions, observe how you handle them. Observe how you show up and how you respond. While you are talking to a friend and asking them to assess you and you're assessing yourself, see how those two assessments line up with each other. How does their assessment line up with your thinking and how you observe yourself? And then the third thing is to disrupt. So number 1 is identify. Number 2 is assess. Number 3 is to disrupt. And that is, once you identify your emotions and you are able to observe how you traditionally, typically, non-thoughtfully, instinctually respond, then I want you to just, try different techniques. Try, responding to those emotions and to those stimuli in a different way. Okay, so this is the way that I typically do it. Let me try another way. Let me see if I can't try something different, if I can't try a new approach. So disrupt that natural, non-thinking way of doing things. So let me give you a quick example, and then I'm going to let you go home, okay? Quick example. Identify. And put that up on the screen again. Identify. When I'm in a meeting with my coworkers and they are rambling on about nothing. When I'm in a meeting with my coworkers, I can't read my own stuff. When I'm in a meeting with my coworkers and they're rambling on about nothing, I notice that I feel annoyed. All right, now you just identified how you feel. Awesome. When I am annoyed, the second thing you want to do is now assess. When I am annoyed, I naturally, instinctually, non-thinkingly shut down and check out. Now that I know some of y'all are like, yeah, that resonates with me. I just say to myself, man, I don't want to be in this meeting. They're not talking about nothing. They're wasting my time, but I got to be here. So I'm just going to sit here, man, and check emails. I'm gonna twiddle my thumb. I'm just gonna check on out of this. So that's what I instinctually do, without any thinking, without any assessing. I just naturally check out. The third thing is to disrupt. So I know that I feel annoyed when I go into meetings and they get to rambling on about nothing. I know that I check out. So here's the third thing, because remember, when you keep checking out, the rest of the team is going to start feeding off of that. That's what we talk about systems. The rest of the team, the rest of the family, the rest of the whatever is going to start feeding off of that. So you need to disrupt it so that you can help yourself get out of just, instinctually doing things, non-thinkingly doing things. And you can also help the team to start, because once you change that one variable of self, then of course others are going to have to change because you're no longer doing the same thing. They're going to have to make adjustments. So disrupt. Here's disrupt. Number 3. Next time this happens, I'm thinking to myself, next time this happens, I'm going to engage the group and then give suggestions on how we can get back on track. So rather than checking out, that's what I've been doing. It hasn't worked, because while I just sit there with my arms folded, checking my emails stuff, they'll go on even longer, just rambling, talking about nothing, going back and forth, going back over the same material over and over until I'm just at the place I'm ready to pull my hair out. But I don't. I just check out, go on my computer, check my text messages, update my Facebook status. I'm just out of there. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disrupt it. And one of the ways that I'm going to disrupt it is that I'm going to engage the group and give suggestions about how we can get back on track. Did you see what we just did there? We identified how we were feeling. We assessed how we typically respond to those feelings. And then we disrupted it and said, we're going to try something new. And this 3-step plan, identify, assess, and disrupt. This 3-step plan really does help you when you're inside of various situations and experiencing different emotions, to not be controlled by your emotions and not to allow your emotions to control the entire group. Listen, we have a lot more that we can say about this. I promised you that I would follow up tonight about it, and I'm going to follow up in the future with even more strategies and techniques. These are some of the things that we help our executive leaders when we do our executive coaching and our leadership training. These are some of the things that we go over. I want to encourage you, if you're interested, to check out our website and learn more about our executive directors support group. I also want you to like, subscribe, and share. And listen, my friends, I'm so glad that you chose to be with us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow evening as we continue to unbox the power and the potential of our relationships. Good night.
Seasoned with Grace, Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.